Hey everybody! Today I'm excited to share my newest piece, the Olympic National Park Icons. Each illustration in this collection celebrates a beloved spot from our corner of the Pacific Northwest Peninsula. Come with me to explore each one as I tell you a bit about my inspiration and what I love about each. Stick around till the end and you'll see some bonus footage. But first, let me tell you how this project started. So I was approached by my friends at Kindred, and they had seen a really cool design in one of their outings to find new art. So they came to me and said, "Hey Kat, can you do this in your style?" So of course I was like, "Oh yeah, totally." And I started sketching it in January, and then I've been doing it probably a little by little until May when I wanted to give in the design. So what's funny is that when I started doing the sketches, I really wasn't sure if it would work because it just looked so awkward all by themselves. I mean, they looked really cool and I would say, oh, that would make a great sticker. But I wasn't sure if I could translate the design to each location and make it, look the same. So I actually finished the design, and then when I was actually laying them out, I thought, oh man, this actually looks really cool. So we kind of went with it and we were all really pleased with how it came out. So before we take our trip around the park, I want to know if you've been here and if you have a favorite spot in any of the ones that I mentioned or anything else, some experiences. And if you haven't been here, what would you be excited to see? I would love to know in the comments. So go down there and make me a comment. Starting at the edge, we'll find Cape Flattery, the westernmost point in the continental U.S., where dramatic cliffs meet endless ocean. It's a pretty easy trek from what I'm told, and one of the most popular points in the area. This one is on my bucket list of places to see in the summer. It's a pretty fun drive with its curvy roads that remind me of driving in Puerto Rico. As you go through Nia Bay, make sure to also stop at the Mecca Cultural and Research Center Museum. I've been there with my son's class a few years ago, and it's both informational and impressive. Next up is a family favorite, Salt Creek. Tide pools shimmer with life, anemones, starfish, and mussels. I focused on the sea stacks that made the area so alluring. I can't imagine how long they were full pieces of land, and then carved by glaciers for thousands of years. It just blows my mind. Okay, quick story. So one of the first times that I was at Salt Creek, we encountered this raccoon. I've never seen a raccoon at the beach, but I guess it makes sense since it's forest and the ocean kind of meet together. But this raccoon was just chilling out like it was on vacation and just kind of all wet, but it just looked like it was just a furry human. Maybe it was Rocket from, the Marvel movies. Who knows? It was really cute though. Now let's head to Sol Duc Falls. Powerful and lush, the falls thunder through old-growth forest. My lines echo the flow and movement of the water, and the straight lines reflect the heavy forested area surrounding the waters. I love how the water has split the rocks, creating the many little waterfalls. If you follow the river, you'll find a bunch of salmon spawning, jumping, and being their silly little salmon selves during mating season. My experience with this area also brought me my first backpacking trip with friends, which started out really near these very waterfalls, an experience I will never forget. Now back to the ocean we go to see the Tree of Life. Defiant and gravity-defying, this tree seems to float between earth and sky. I emphasized its distinctive roots and the delicate balance that keeps it standing. Since I've seen it, the tree has fallen a lot because of heavy storms and erosion. I'm so glad I got to see it when I did, because right now, because of those storms that have passed through the past few months, it's kind of laying down and not quite floating, but it's still cool nonetheless because it's still alive and the roots are still obviously working. So it's really a treat to see, even though it's kind of, lazy and rusting. And back to waterfalls. Here we are at Marymere, a hidden gem with cool mist and fern-lined paths. Probably my favorite thing about this location is how many cool snails and creatures you can find on your adventure to the falls. Feels like something hidden in the rocks, and then boom, you're there. I built up the layers of line work and texture in this drawing. I wanted to share just how tall this 90-foot waterfall was in comparison to the tree stumps and logs that look like tiny little sticks on the ground. We are halfway through the list and now at Hole in the Wall at Rialto Beach. This one has iconic sea stacks and an archway carved by waves. I used bold lines and contrast to capture the drama of the coastline. This is another one on my bucket list, and while I've been to Rialto with friends and my dad, I still need to see this hole in the wall. The beaches there can be so very dramatic. Giant waves crashing into the shore, pushing giant logs and rocks onto the beach. Then other times it's so serene during a lovely outing to see the sunset. It's yet another beach with colorful low tide show with jewels of the ocean. Our last waterfall on the list, Madison Falls, is a small but mighty waterfall tucked away in the forest. I kept this icon simple and peaceful, reflecting its quiet presence. It's only 60 feet high with water cascading off moss-covered rocks, and I can't wait to check this one off my list. From what I know, it has a really easy access to be seen, which is great for people who can't walk, have handicaps, or those little feet that just don't have the patience for longer trails. They, too, can enjoy the amazing sights of the park. The Devil's Punchbowl. Actually, it's not as devilish as you might think. It's actually pretty damn frigid. The Devil's Punchbowl is in the Olympic National Park, and it is a unique and popular spot at the north shore of Lake Crescent, and it's renowned for its clear blue waters and iconic bridge. The part I loved was making those clean lines of the bridge against the surrounding rocks and trees. The jade-colored water can be so dramatic when the light is hitting it on a sunny day. Don't be fooled about that water. It may look tropical, but it is anything but. That's glacier water from the mountains that has dripped down. My friends decided that they were going to jump in it and have fun. I decided to watch them from a rock and laugh when they were pretty much popsicles. Now we are going up, up, up to Hurricane Ridge. High above the forest, alpine meadows open to sweeping vistas. I tried to capture the feeling of elevation and the airiness with open flowing lines and a happy little hiker about to take a walk on one of the trails that make you feel like you are on top of the world. I always think of the Swiss Alps when I'm up there. I haven't technically been to Switzerland, but in my head, I'm imagining it feels just like this. Once you're up there, it really makes you want to sing, "The hills are alive with the sound of music." But all kidding aside, my goal is to see a sunset up there as I look down on the valley and say, "Everything the light touches is our kingdom. A king's time as a ruler rises and falls like the sun. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise as you are the new king of Hurricane Ridge." Going back down, down, down into the valley, we find Lake Crescent. Deep blue water, ringed by mountains. Here I suggested in layered, simple lines for tranquility and depth and showcasing the forest that dips down to the water. Remember when I mentioned that the water was really cold at the Devil's Punchbowl? Well, this is where that little gem is. Because the water is so deep and clean and has very little nitrogen, it really creates a beautiful hue of blue. But remember when I say, don't forget about how cold the ice water is. Remember that. And finally, on our last stop in the list is the Hoh Rainforest. Lush, moss-draped, alive with ferns, my pen wandered loose in tangled lines to echo the wilderness of the rainforest. I loved drawing all of the moss on the tree trunks, and while a lot of the area is rainforest, the Hoh is a great representation of what a lot of the park looks like in one concentrated spot. Surrounded by the towering Sitka spruce and western hemlock trees and abundant plant and animal life. Also known as mushrooms and slugs and snails. Oh my! The trail in the park has a great section if you are in short of time or you just want to enjoy more things in the area. It's a quick jaunt accessible for all, and if you're feeling a little more adventurous, there's a spectacular trail out and back That's 17.3 miles one way, deeper into the forest. All in all, I had a really great time making the designs, especially when they all came together. And the purpose of the designs actually was to make a shirt for Kindred Collective, and they actually have it exclusively at their store if you wanted to purchase one. I also will be making some things, mostly prints and postcards, and in the future I'm thinking of doing a sticker sheet and individual decals. As for the prints, you can find them as 5x7s, 8x10s, and 11x14s, so whichever size suits your wall needs. And speaking of that, I also will have a postcard. Really cool postcard if I do say so myself. It has rounded edges and everything. As for how to get these things, well, I'll leave the links down in the description box, which will include Kindred Collective's website and address, as well as my website where you can order the prints and such. I really hope you enjoy the shirt because I really love how it can actually be like the little checklist and you can just check the things that you've seen and, write a note for the things you want to see next time. And as promised, I want to leave a little montage of my adventures in the park. Just some random photos of me enjoying all the sights and sounds that the Pacific Northwest has to offer in the park. And I really hope you enjoy it. And remember to have some fun outside. Don't just stay inside because the adventure, it's out there. Again, thanks for joining me on this journey through the Olympic Peninsula's most iconic places. Don't forget to let me know what your favorite spots are here and share your story about it or what you're excited to see. I would love to hear your experiences. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel to hear more stories like this. If you have any suggestions or things you'd like me to create or places to visit, I'd love to know that too. Till next time, keep exploring and see you later.